Hey, I'm Tashaka Armstrong, and thank you for joining me for another Tech for the Rest of Us. Today, I have a phablet, an almost 6-inch screen phablet, bezel-less nearly. You're going to want to take a look at, especially for those users who are waiting for that next Note phone, which came out but then was recalled because of that whole fiasco. Well, no fiasco attached to this, even though it has explosive battery life and a dual camera. It is pretty awesome. I think you're really going to like it. Let's take a look at Huawei's Mate 9. The Huawei Mate 9 is a good-looking phone, although there's nothing that really stands out about the design. As I've stated before, what more can we really iterate with a metal slab? The phone looks nice. It has a 5.9-inch display which sports a resolution of 1920 by 1080 at 373 pixels per inch. The colors pop, the images and text are crisp, and the display menu options allow me to tailor icon, text, and image size exactly to my liking. Very small. Another item to note is that the phone comes with a screen protector and a case right out of the box. Nice touch. The front of the phone also features some small-ish Huawei branding, speaker, and 8-megapixel front-facing camera with 1.9 aperture and autofocus. Around the side of the phone, you'll find a power button and volume rocker. The left side is where you'll find the dual SIM slot. Good news is that dual SIM slot doubles as a micro SD slot, so you can expand the storage capacity of the phone by 256 gigabytes. Around the phone, you will also find not 2, but 4 total microphones to ensure callers can hear you now. The big feature of the Mate 9, though, is found around back. Huawei worked with Leica to provide users an optical image stabilized, backside illuminated dual camera setup with dual tone flash and a bunch of different autofocus technologies. We'll get into that and do a bit more later. Actually, the camera is not the only big feature found around back. The battery power supplied by the Mate 9 is nothing short of Atlassian. Yes, Atlas, the guy with the world on his shoulder. Yeah, anyway. Yes, your phone's battery literally carries your world on its shoulder these days, and yet that's the one part of the phone whose technology has progressed slower than most everything else, leaving people hugging walls for replenishment. There will be a lot less of that with the 4,000 milliamp hour battery found inside the Mate 9. On the bottom of the phone, you'll have a USB-C port, but Huawei didn't delete the 3.5mm audio port up top. What they did do is give you a pair of stereo speakers on the bottom, which are so loud for notifications that in certain spaces I've had to turn them way down. The software experience is nothing to sneeze at. The phone is fast, real fast, thanks to the new Kirin processor, GPU, and 4 gigabytes of RAM. The fingerprint reader allows you to control the notification shade up and down, and the tool center slide up from the bottom is well laid out and thought out, even if derivative. The Twin app feature allows you to run 2 instances of an app at a time. EMUI also has a split screen mode, which will allow you to run 2 apps, splitting the screen. Activating the split screen function is actually quite simple and intuitive for anyone having owned a phablet from any other vendor. I think Huawei's implementation is more user-friendly than others. Simply press and hold the fast app switching button while already in an app, then choose the app you want to run concurrently with the one you're already in. Navigation is pretty well thought out in Huawei's EMUI 5.0. Going into the settings menu, most settings and features are no more than 2 or 3 menus deep, as opposed to previous iterations of their overlay where you could go several menus deep to get to a function you're looking for. Being able to swipe from left to right to bring up the entire settings menu from inside of any menu is a very intuitive, very efficient inclusion to the menu navigation. One of my pet peeves when it comes to phones from Asian manufacturers is that they often forego the inclusion of an app drawer in their interfaces, but not so with Huawei's Mate 9. You can use the phone with or without the app drawer, but if you do, you'll also get an app search field at the top of the app screen, as well as the letters on the right, which will allow you to jump to your apps whose names correspond to that letter. Now let's get into that camera, that Leica camera. Equipped with various focus technologies, the Leica shooter on the rear of the Mate 9 produces images that look great in low light and have a beautiful bokeh, the parts of the image in the background that are soft focused or slightly out of focus. Really nice. Although the vast majority of my experience with the Mate 9 has been positive, there were a couple items which were nitpicky but annoyances nonetheless. If you're coming from a different phone, Huawei's phone cloning software requires you to be connected to the net in order for you to transfer your content over. Nope. I want a phone-to-phone connection if I'm transferring all of my data and photos. I do not want them going up to someone's server then back down. Sorry, not feeling it. Another thing I'd like to see added to all phones which have rear-facing fingerprint scanners is a knock-on feature similar to what was first introduced on LG's phones, where you can tap the screen and it wakes so that you can see your notifications. Sure, you can turn on a feature in the Mate 9 settings which will wake the screen every time you get a notification, but that quickly becomes a battery drain if you're getting a lot of notifications. And that's the Huawei Mate 9. Fingerprint scanner, dual flash, 6-inch screen, well, just under 6 inches. It's a pretty remarkable phablet, definitely worth checking out. If there's anything I did not answer for you in the video, please leave your questions in the comments below. I'll get to them. As always, thank you for watching.